Hey y'all, Jessie here from thebudgetmama.com. And one of the things that I'm starting to recognize within our own household budget is that we have sort of fallen into this budgeting rut. Now, my husband no longer working for the company that he was working for 3 years, where we had a steady paycheck every week and all of that fun, normal stuff. Now we're back into budgeting with irregular income, and there's just a lot more unknowns sort of happening with our budget. And because of that, we have had to take a really hard look at our budget and try to figure out different things and where we want to go with our money and so on and so forth. And so one of the questions I want to ask you is, if you are regularly budgeting, like you already know how to budget, you're at least trying to do it, is your budget serving you well? This is a question that my husband and I have been asking ourselves a lot, because we started realizing that we were just sort of doing the same budget over and over again. Granted, there would be maybe a few differences from month to month with birthday parties and holidays and so forth, but a lot of the time it was just sort of monotonous. Our budget just had the same categories in it over and over again. And yes, we were working hard to meet some of our goals, like our emergency fund, and now we're working towards replacing the roof to our house. But some of these goals are not in line with some of these line items in our budget are not in line to where we want our money to take us, where our ultimate goals are. Because many of you already know that our main goal is to eventually own a homestead completely debt-free. This is not going to be an easy feat. It's going to cost lots and lots of money to do it this way, but it's something that we really want to do. Now, we had laid out a few years ago our battle plan, so to speak, to reach that, which the first step in that was that we would have to pay off all of our consumer debt, which at the time was my Tahoe, our credit cards, and my student loans. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. And my student loans. And we reached that goal in August of 2015. And so then our next goal was that we wanted to have our emergency fund in place before we started trying to aggressively pay off the house. So then we got our emergency fund set in place. And now we are trying to work towards paying off the house. Our main goal is to get that finished by December of 2017. But now it's become sort of obvious to us that our budget really isn't pushing us towards that homestead dream. We're kind of just living in this really small little world. We're starting to recognize that, well, yes, the roof to the house has to be replaced. Like, we wouldn't even be able to sell a house right now if we wanted to, because the roof is in such poor condition. So that obviously is part of our goal and our battle plan. But we haven't been as aggressive in meeting the goal of paying off our house and in meeting the goal of saving up money to buy this homestead one day, because it's still going to take money to do this, right? We still have to buy the property and hopefully be able to build a house on it, right? So in order to do all this, it's going to require money. And so we're starting to recognize where our budget really isn't allowing for that to happen as much as we wanted it to, because there's one key area of our budget that we have really failed on, and that is our retirement. We are actively trying to pursue better options. So we actually met with a certified financial planner, and we have definitely determined that we are not on track for retiring well, which kind of stinks. I don't even really like admitting that out loud, but it's true. We are not anywhere near reaching our retirement goals. As our CFP had said to us, they said, you have, you're sort of land rich, if you will, even though we don't live on a big plot of land. We are almost done paying off our house. So that considers us like property, land, asset rich, if you will, but we're cash poor. So our retirement accounts they're not beefy at all. They're very sad. In fact, our emergency fund has more money in it than our retirement accounts do, which is really sad. And that should not be the case, especially since we're both over 30 now, or I'm at 30, he's over 30. So we are working hard to build up our retirement accounts now, because we've recognized that by failing to achieve the retirement goals, we are never going to be able to live out our homestead dreams. And so that is why I want to encourage you that if you have not already asked yourself the question, is your budget serving you well? I want you to ask yourself that question, and I want you to take time today, preferably today, no later than tomorrow. go through your budget and figure out, is your budget in line with your goals? And if it's not, how can you how can you make it be aligned? If your main goal is to travel the world, do you have a line item in your budget for traveling? Saving up money to go and travel to these different places that you want to. Is your retirement account ready? Is it funded? Are you on track at least to retire with the income that you were hoping to retire with? If not, that needs to be something that you start actively pursuing. Is your emergency fund fully funded? If not, it's time to start pursuing that. Have you paid off your consumer debt? If not, it's time to start pursuing that. Start looking at your overall financial goals and your budget and figure out where you want it to go from there. And once you've done that, add those line items into your budget and start making those things a priority. Start getting focused on the things that matter most to you so your money will start working better for you. Because unfortunately, we all get caught up in monotony. We all get caught up in the ruts and the habits and the daily to-dos. And our budgets will sometimes reflect that. Our budgets aren't actively making our money do what we want them to do. Sure, our money's not controlling us. Once you budget, you start putting yourself in control of your money. But when we just allow that when we allow the monotony to take over, we in turn stop actively controlling our money. We stop actively making our money do what we want it to do. It's just sort of sitting there doing the same old thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? So I want you today to actively look over your budget, look over your financial goals, and figure out how you can make the two coexist and kind of get rid of some of that monotony. I hope this helps you, and I am looking forward to hearing of your goals and your budgeting successes. So please email me and tell me how you are doing. Thank you so much.